There, it shows you the little red bar.
Got it.
There, it shows you the little red bar. Got it.
So welcome everyone to the council meeting of April 25th, 2023. We're starting right on time at 6:00 p.m. And I would like to note that the meeting is taking place in Mi'kmaq, the traditional and central territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Today's meeting is being streamed live on the Town of Annapolis Rural YouTube channel. To those present in the gallery today, welcome. By attending a public meeting of the council, you are consenting to having your image, voice, and comments recorded. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image, and comments will form part of the live stream. The chair and/or the chief administrative officer have the discretion and authority at any time to direct the elimination or interruption of live streaming. Such direction will only be given in exceptional circumstances when deemed relevant. And so far, that's not happened. We have present this evening, we have the Deputy Mayor, Michael Tompkins, Councillor Paula Hafting, and absent, of course, is Councillor Holly Sanford. So I'm going to call this meeting to order. I do not believe there are any additions to the agenda, so if there are no changes to the agenda, it is approved as presented. And if there are no changes to the minutes of March 15th, 2023, that is council minutes, the regular minutes, they will also be approved. They are also approved. We have no presentations this evening. No one has appeared for public input. So we'll move to the operating budget, and we have our Director of Finance, Melanie Robinson, with us. Over to you, Melanie.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, we see
Okay.
it.
All right, we're just going to go through the changes that I've made. So the first one is on the very first page, our Grant and Lou Bell Alliant. I just got the notification today. It's less than what we had budgeted. So I've put in the actual there at 4,557. The next one is the Triton. We've put in the revenue for 60,000, and you'll see the expenditure down below when we get to the police budget. I do want to point out that the sewage treatment, not sure what this number will be here. The 33 was just a number that I plugged in based on a formula that I received a little while ago, but this number could be much higher, and therefore it could be much higher. I was hoping to have a call back, but I haven't had it yet. I just need a little more information on that, but just to let you be aware of that. If I go down here, Valley Waste. So in the green column, of course, is where I think we're going to land at the end of the year. I don't know what our surplus will be there from Valley Waste, so I've just plugged it in at 8,000 for now. But just so you should be aware, that could be higher, it could be lower. The last couple of years it's been 20, then 10, so I felt 8 was fair. We are only going to receive one summer student, so I've taken this from 4060 down to 2030. The summer student grants, I think, were cut substantially. We're going to now put the dredging of the sewage lagoons in the operating budget because it doesn't qualify for capitalization. So there was $30,000 left over last year that I didn't transfer over. Right here, the difference between the 298 and the 330, sorry. And then you'll see down below the surplus that we're going to have this year that I'm going to have to move over to the operating reserve. So that's where that money will come from. I go down, I'm just going through the things that we changed last time. I do want to point out that the CAO is not going to go to the NSFN conference next month in Digby. So I've removed that and normalized that, the conference and travel.
Melanie,
Yes,
on the sewer backup on the operating, moving that money over.
yes.
Will that make a change in the revenue stream side as well, up on the sewer side as well, or potentially?
Yes, it will.
Okay,
Yeah, by 43.9%. So, did I miss something?
no, that was 43.9% of the 80 would be an additional revenue stream.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
I
that's,
did,
and that's not in there yet, right?
no, I did move out the repairs and maintenance to the comfort center. I moved that to the comfort center as per your request. I still do have the toll-free payphone in there, but I'm hoping that council will give me direction to decommission that. Just going through here, I did increase the police CPP slightly because it was a little too low. And I took the heating costs down here because they were too high. They've been relocated to admin. I also took the fuel down slightly because we came in at 87. So I think that 10 was fair. The police prosecution fees, I've indexed those based on a contract. And here's where the 30,000 is for the Triton subcontract. So there's 60 up above, 30 down below. So it nets us an additional 30,000 in revenue. The reason this is highlighted for pros is we only received one half of the bill so far, but as you know, the RCMP are on strike. So I'm just making some estimates there. I'm just trying as I have color codes for it when I've showed you everything. And I checked the contract for the police answering service, and that is indexed, I believe, 4%. So I've indexed that. So the public works salaries for public works and for the sewage have been indexed. I met with one of the public works crew, and they are eligible for retirement early next year, and they may take that. So I have included an allowance there, which also wouldn't affect the pension, but I have made some assumptions with our new, looks like we're close to having a contract with one of our public works employees for an ORDC. So that would increase the salary line there, and of course the pension. The same. Oh, okay, snow and ice removal. So we came in at just under 9 last year. So I felt like 9. We had a lot of learning curves last year, and I felt that 9 should be doable this year.
It's hard to predict the weather.
It's hard to predict. So I don't know, but I feel like we did have some learning curves, and I think they're behind us now. The same thing follows for the sewage and waste salary with a potential ORDC.
One quick question before you go past public works, Mel.
Yeah.
On the one item there, work tools expense.
Yes.
So that there's a significant increase there, but you haven't gotten any details of what they're looking at. It's just that they need that amount.
Yeah, I've not got any details. Sandy may be able to speak to this more. I did try to see if we could lower that, but
Do you know that? Really?
No, his response was they were required.
So we should be able to get details.
Yes.
We asked, and he doesn't have specific, he just said that the tools are lacking and he needs to purchase a number of tools to keep on hand.
Well, I think we can explain 3,500. So it probably give us examples of what it is that he thinks is outdated and needs replacement. It's a legitimate question. If a member of the public asked, we be answering. So,
Just following up with that, public works shop repairs, 5,000, do we have any details about that?
We do, that is painting of the Public Works building, and they're going to hook up a generator in the office space there. Those are the deets on that.
And we have the generator already? Okay. Okay,
great.
So that's why that is, but I don't have any details on the tools. Did you want to keep it at 4, or I wasn't?
Well, if we're passing a budget, we definitely need some more information. So if you can provide us with examples, that'd be great.
Okay,
The council will decide later if they want to pass it with or without.
okay. So carried on. So as you know, we have moved the sludging of the lagoons into the operating budget. So the 80 up above and the 80 down below. And then I've reduced the sampling because we are replacing here. We are replacing all 48 bulbs and 10 balances. They've been ordered, so that will reduce our sampling. This, I think I had a note here that you had a question on this. So this was, it was 6,000, it's reduced to 3, but it's stainless steel chains to pull the pumps. That's what that was. The recreation budget, the facility maintenance, I have added $1,000. After I'd met with with Noah, the gate at the dog park fence needed repairing, so we did that. And then he said they've identified that the male public washroom needs a plumber. They can't, whatever is wrong with it, they can't do it, so they need a plumber. So that's why I've included that. He asked if it was possible to add $1,000 to his budget, so I did. So.
And that's the old washroom, right?
Yeah.
It is.
And that's been identified as a problem forever.
I think it's well worth getting.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Getting the plumber is the other
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for, I think, a couple of weeks, so.
Everybody's waiting for the plumber.
Yeah. There aren't enough plumbers around. The marketing, yeah. The marketing, the 39,500, that's the 10,000 from the tourism marketing assistance program. It's $1,000 for a dragon boat race, 5,000 for a place to call home, 500 for community meetings, 5,000 for First Pond, 3,000 for discretionary, and 15 for the events and the CC, the new donations policy.
So just on the donations policy, sorry, what line is that again?
That's all in that
Oh,
one. general
It's all in the
fund.
39,500.
The highlighted one.
So it's in there, but the community, there was a community component, the smaller grant was for community things, community projects?
Yeah.
And does it appear somewhere else, or was?
No, it's here. It's 5,000 for the community and 10 for the events.
It should probably not be in the marketing thing, because a while ago, we decided we would try to track community versus marketing. Anyway, it's just a small thing, it doesn't change the final number, but that should probably be moved. Just to community development.
Okay, I will, I've made a note of it.
Yeah, just wherever else, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I saw in that budget, that they.
Okay, yeah.
Like a good budget.
The,
Just, can I just, sorry, Melanie, Paula, did you have any questions? I thought on that, the
recreation.
no, the marketing,
Budget.
the medic one that was sent out earlier during the week. The
Oh,
little presentation that came.
From Daniela, there was an email
Yeah.
from Daniela. It had an overview of the.
right, no, I didn't have any
No,
questions.
okay.
No, no.
Because
I
it was
said-
brand new, so I just didn't.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, it's fine.
And I was fine with it, just except for the
Yeah.
first one, that 500, I thought should be coded too. I see that, Melanie needs to be track of. And it's just
Percentages, yeah.
informative to know what's going where, yeah. Great.
Okay, so then the promotional Christmas, I did add, I added the money for the shuttle there. You had asked for that last time.
Oh,
So
that's good.
the
Yeah.
Christmas shuttle, and then we've
Mhm.
also put $1,000 in for the welcome wagon.
Oh, good.
And I had a note here about the Tesla charging station. TFAC was going to provide something, but I don't know that I ever received anything, or maybe they weren't even going to provide anything. I'm not sure, but I had a note there. The capital reserve, the amount of money to get this budget to balance, the amount of money that's going over into the capital is 198,000. I will let you know that I have not yet received the final senior citizens housing invoice for our share of the deficit. So I plugged in the high end number, and I plugged in 25,000 for next year. That could be too high, could be too low. I think it's, with the cost of everything going up, I think it's right about where it
Yeah.
should be.
We just don't know where.
So all the repairs that were done up there are already incorporated in last year's budget, like all the work they did on that.
I don't know. I can't get any answers, Michael, so I don't know.
Okay. All right,
Sorry.
okay.
Melanie,
yeah.
can we just pop back to library on line
Oh,
470?
Yeah.
It's much lower than it has been in previous years.
Yes, the reason is we have this new hub expense. See this?
Right, yes.
So now we are tracking the library. We're tracking these costs now between the academy or the gym, the library, and the hub, and we're tracking them based on square footage.
So they're split up.
So last year's was the library and the hub were combined.
They were, well, the library, the hub. So the library and hub, yes, were combined, absolutely.
And it was around 41,
Last year came in at 41,
and this year we're looking at
18.
59.
Yeah.
Like the combined number is 59. So an increase of,
Oh, I should say, Michael, last year and previous
Yeah.
years, the gym and the library and hub were 50-50. It wasn't based on square footage. It was 50% and 50%.
Which really wasn't a true allocation of those
Yeah.
units. So we were,
no,
So
I just looked at, so
yeah.
was last year the gym expense somewhere else as well?
Yeah, last year the gym expenses right down here. Right here, the academy gym came in at 41. This year we're budgeting at 14.
Oh, I guess, okay, so there was, it's
Still-
41 plus 14, and now it's split between the two,
three.
okay, I'm good.
Now it's split between three, yeah.
Right, okay.
Last year was two, now it's three,
Yeah,
and it's just on square footage so that we can actually kind of track the
the true cost.
the true cost of the library. So hopefully when the endowment money comes available, we can say, well, this is the actual true cost of
Right.
The
Yeah.
the
library,
library.
Because they don't want to cover the hub and the gym, of course.
Of course, right? And so when it was here in town hall, it's like doubled.
yeah, tripled.
Oh, yeah.
tripled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the condo
just-
fees also increased 9% May 1st.
Again,
Yeah, so,
so they increased last October.
By
and,
30% last October and then 9%.
In May.
yeah. I think it was 30%.
That's right.
Yeah.
They were low at the beginning. Very low.
Yeah, they were too low.
Mhm.
Okay, so any other questions on that page before I keep scrolling?
No.
No, okay. So that is a balanced budget. Now, if you go to the green column, you'll see where I'm predicting at least a $67,000 surplus. Depending on what the answers are for that sewage agreement, it could be a lot higher than that. So
That's worst case scenario.
that's the worst case scenario. So 67,000 will be moved over into the operating reserve. And we're going to bring 80 of that right back over to fund the sludging.
Dredging.
Dredging, sorry, dredging.
We have
It's the opposite of sludging.
Oh, gosh. been a
That's
long,
okay.
been a long week.
Okay.
It's only Tuesday.
Okay, Melanie, just a quick question. The presentation that we had the other week from the Basin Aquatics Association, that they were asking 15,000. Did we ever think about earmarking money for that?
Yeah,
Or is it-
so, sorry, I had that to mention that. Yeah, so their ask was 15,000, not to say that we couldn't fund that later, but I don't have it in this budget because I feel like we should have, it's a large amount of money, and I feel with that kind of ask, we should have a business plan and their financials that go with it.
Right,
Okay, that's reasonable.
and no business plan was presented.
All right, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
So that's the gist of the operating budget. Now I can take you and show you the capital budget if you don't have any questions on this budget.
Anybody else? I don't.
No,
I know it's really fast, but
well, we've gone through it 4 times already.
I know.
No, this is good.
So
Okay, so
what's your
bear with
wishes?
me.
Are you ready to pass this
Well,
budget today?
Go ahead.
I am. I'm feeling okay about it.
I have some questions on Public Works numbers.
Mhm.
The need to spend that amount of money immediately, I would like an answer to, and what in detail he's actually planning on doing. On the other side, I don't really want to hold up the budget over 2 line items. So I don't know how you want to.
I think we just say that we want to, if we decide we're okay with the balance of the budget, I think we deserve an explanation for the tools entry, absolutely.
And the generator is a good question for me as well, now that it was brought up, because there is a mobile one, because they move it down here to the police station. So are they hooking up a permanent one there, or just hooking up a hookup? Do they not already have a hookup?
No, they don't already have a hookup.
So they're doing a hookup for a generator and painting the building. So,
That's 5,000.
yeah, it's just kind of, you're doing 4,000 in tools, and then you sprucing up the building, and I'm just like, do we need to do it all at once, or can you like spread it over?
So the next meeting is, our next committee, of the whole meeting is on May the 3rd. So would you like him to attend the meeting and you can ask him the questions, or just email back and forth?
I think
Are
we
you-
email back and forth, we're only talking about 3,500 now.
Exactly,
Right,
yeah.
so if we're okay with that, we get the answer.
Well, and the $5,000, you
Yeah.
have detailed why he wants to paint the building and put a generator on it now. Right,
Okay, we
And
ask,
then-
send those questions.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
And then pass it in May? Or you,
you pass it at committee of the whole if you want. Like,
Well, I'm fine
I'm
to
fine with
pass
everything
it,
else.
I'm fine to pass it tonight and just to kind of get more feedback from him as he spends the money. And I mean, if he
I
doesn't
think too,
spend all.
because we've got the month of April, like we're into it, it'd be good to have a budget.
Mhm.
We've got some questions which weren't answered, and so we'll suddenly answer the questions and deal with it after that. Depending on the answer that comes back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you happy to pass it tonight or do you? want
I would
to-
pass it tonight, but like, do we get the questions answered and then have Pat whenever, or do we say we're gonna pass it?
we can pass it,
Based on-
say we've got a couple of questions that need to be answered, but
I'm with it.
okay.
Okay.
Because it is a large budget, so in the
Mhm.
scheme of things, I think we're okay with that
Yes.
question.
oh, yes.
Great. Okay.
So,
What?
I'd like to go on the capital budget
Yeah.
first, so get that result first.
okay, perfect.
Okay, because I do have some questions there, yeah.
I'm just trying to find it on my screen because when I have 2 screens,
Take time, take the time.
sorry. Seem to find it. I'm just gonna stop sharing, and isn't this funny how it happens to me? There we go. You have to refresh. Okay, can everybody see my screen now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this capital budget is $391,154 in total, of which $290,774 has already been received. It was received in March. So our share is $125,357. The $80,000 has already been pre-approved for the SCADA system for the home hardware lift station. Or, sorry, the SCADA system. The generator at the hub, the money's already been received. The sewage pump at the Riverview Lift Station, and then the 249,254 grant that will see us have solar panels at the sewage treatment center. So where does that money come from? I always like to ask myself. So as I said, the 249,254 arrived on March 31st. That's already sitting in the bank, as is the money for the generator. So we start the year in the general capital with 409,083. We're bringing in 198 from the budget we just saw. Gives us a grand slam of 207,083. We're going to spend 391 of that. It'll leave us with a balance of 215,929. That's in my general capital. In my reserve for capital, I have 375, of which 290,501 is already earmarked. That leaves unallocated of 85,000. And you know, all the projects down below that it's earmarked for. My gas tax bank, I have $500,000. And that could be a portion of that, or all of that could be earmarked for the a portion of funding for the sea level rise.
And that's what we were looking for, was to begin that fund, right? Because we have to start. If we're to leverage, we need something to leverage. So one option would be to take the gas tax money, bite the bullet, and at least allocate it in our minds, allocate it for the seawall. Without approving any project so far or whatever, because it's still a new project. But that's one option, is to earmark the gas tax money,
Right.
because we know it's actually, the eligibility is still in question, because they need to see the details, like, which did not come in with the initial report.
Right.
But we know it's going to be we don't know how big the project it is, but anyway, so one thing we could do, because we did ask, how could we start laying aside money for that project?
Right. And it's important to do it this year, because next year we were told at the presentation that the federal government is putting out a lot of, like, $520 million in available grant money to apply for.
Well, it's important that we've
So at least
we've
we've got
identified
the
the
plan.
2 grants we can apply for, so we've identified multiple sources. We'll have to get very creative, but part of it is starting a fund.
Right.
So right now it wouldn't be moving money, but it would be theoretically allocating it to say, this amount of money we're going to put aside, or earmark it at least, for the seawall project, so that we start with something. So that's just a proposal, because the last time we talked about this, we said, okay, we need to start with something. So it's just a discussion. Yes.
So I would just with, the things that are happening right now, I would be a little concerned on earmarking the whole amount.
Not the whole amount.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
that was just my concern. If the whole amount is earmarked and something comes up,
No.
we wouldn't have anything to pull from, so.
So we can decide on the amount.
I should also let you know that I did check with Renee Frigo, and if we have to have capital costs for our sewage lagoon, we could use gas tax money for that too. I mean, we don't, so.
So let's pick an amount, because it's just a start.
Mhm.
We have no idea where we're going to be, but anyway, I think if we notionally start, it makes us a bit more aggressive too in looking for money. Like when, you've got a piggy bank and it's for something, sometimes it forces that, not that staff need a whole lot of extra work on grant writing, because they do lots of it. But at least it gives us something to use. Anyway, so is there an amount that you'd be comfortable with?
I don't. Was there any amounts given to us at the presentation?
Oh, yeah. 4.2 million, that was the start.
Yes, I know, but the breakdown, I know.
No breakdown yet.
Right, okay,
So that's coming, I got that grant extended,
right,
so that's what they're currently working on. Is
Okay.
coming up with the numbers and
There's a lot of
Doing
ideas
the
that came up.
drilling of the holes to see if even the land was suitable for,
right.
all of that. So they're still working on pulling those numbers together, but those were the first tentative numbers that we had received.
And we also need to tie in the wharf,
Yes.
to protect the wharf, and,
Yeah.
there's Right,
Well, there's three things. So there's the seawall, like you
Mhm.
said. There's the wharf, and what can happen. There's a committee proposal for that.
Right.
But then there's the seawall protection for the wharf, which got excluded from the original 4.2 million. And then there's full replacement and partial. So there's three moving parts to it.
yes.
But whatever we do, we know it's going to be over 4.2 million, whatever it is.
Mhm.
So
So-
even if it was a third, and a third, we'd be looking for a third.
Right, so since we don't have any numbers, instead of pick a number, why don't we just earmark in principle? And we'll
Which
come
would be
back and read
fine with me, but we do need to peg an amount in principle, even if we change our mind.
Okay.
later,
Yeah,
Just for, it's whatever you feel comfortable with, but it's just to say, rather than just think we can spend that money on anything, we need to be thinking, I think now, of just laying some money by.
Do a percentage, do half, do 50%.
So we could do a percentage, 50%, I'd be fine with that. It's just a notional amount, some place to start, while we have the Nova Scotia Power money,
Yeah, the only, it's okay to earmark some of that part of that money towards the sea level rise concerns, but what about the concern that we're gonna have in future years when we don't get our grant in lieu of taxes?
But that's what we're talking about, that's why it needs to be earmarked now. And I know what you mean about the grant in lieu. What we did last year was we asked for a 5-year budget,
Right,
and I would say after we're through this budget exercise, we need another 5-year budget.
right, I see what you're saying, okay.
Yeah, but if we don't start with this year making an allocation, then it simply won't happen for next year.
Right,
So if we don't make some kind of commitment now, even if it's conservative, it's better than nothing.
okay.
But you're right, we need that 5-year outlook
Mhm.
again. I think we're under the gun because of all the things that have happened in the last few weeks and the
Right,
last. Kind of under the gun to get a budget approved because we're a month into it already. But anyway, but it's whatever you feel comfortable
Well,
with.
it's kind of like our vehicle allocation, we allocate it for a certain point every year forward. So if we're doing 50% of the gas tax per year allocated for that, it'll just be put into that line item for seawall.
So every allocation that comes in going forward, 50% would be dedicated to the
I wouldn't see why not.
sea level.
I think 50% feels too high.
It's 50% of,
sorry, 50%, we get $53,282 a year,
so it's 25 grand a year.
25 grand.
And how much are we earmarking for the sewage treatment plant? What percentage?
No.
We don't have anything in there.
And do we need to put something in there?
We don't know.
No idea.
But that's a different issue.
So we should look at maybe just this year,
Okay,
just to start something. I know what you're saying, Michael, I agree, but I'd be happy with just something for this fiscal year.
okay,
And you're right, we need to consider, maybe when we see the 5-year budget, it'll give us a,
Well, I just think we allocated it. Pretty sure the gas tax, you take it off, you don't see it, it's not really in play every time you have a conversation, you're not seeing that
That's
number
true.
sit there and
Yeah.
it's put aside. Emergency comes up, well, that's a different discussion. And that would be, okay, now what do we do? We're looking for 400 grand or whatever, then we'd have to deal with it on that case.
yeah, that's true.
okay, well, in that case,
So we say 50%
Sure.
of gas tax money,
okay,
and we've made a start. Are you okay with that, Sandy?
So is this the new gas tax? So 50% of your reserve plus 50% of the incoming in this budget?
So, what we've got in this budget, okay, so
Yeah,
what you're saying is, we're
So-
starting at 520, 377? Right?
Correct, Melanie?
Sorry, so if you
Tax account right now, is 520, 377?
that will be, so right now, March 31st, there's 467,095. We'll receive 53,282 this year.
Yeah,
So you add what we will receive,
yeah,
added to the 467, we should end the year with 520,377.
okay, so we're saying 50% of that,
Good.
the amount of 520, 377 for 22, 23, and on an ongoing basis, was it 50%?
So there is a bill that hasn't been paid out of the gas tax yet, so
Yeah,
just be mindful of that.
yeah, okay,
Well, whatever it is at the end, after the bill is paid, then I think we're just allocating it to a certain project and
Yep.
Yeah.
Most of them may sit there for 2 or 3 years anyway, so it will be an investment
Yeah.
eventually.
So did I understand you want half of the 520, 250?
Well, after the outstanding bill is paid,
Oh, half of that.
yeah. Half of whatever the balance is that's committed,
And that
And
would
then-
leave you with around 185,000.
and then it's 50% on an ongoing basis, does that make sense? Is that clear enough?
Yep. So that would be like
It says it's,
20,
Yes, okay.
26,000 a year
yeah.
added.
It-
Yeah,
at
no,
least
that's
it
fine.
sets that up.
Yeah.
We've started, you know.
Okay.
just-
That's fair enough.
Okay, great. But that was the only other comment I had on the capital. So,
Melanie,
Yes,
at the end of your budget, you have like the percentage of by department. And I'm just. Is that number for the police department updated with the? Has that been updated since we got the new revenue and expense put in?
yes, it is. That is just the. Let me just see here, F20.
So the revenue does not come off the expenses, so that's the percentage of
Of
expenses
Of our budget.
of the budget. Yes. Because the grant money that comes in doesn't get allocated to the different departments. Just,
True,
right, so like
But-
the 100,000 and the extra 30 that the police are bringing in. That income does not come off of their 18%
but it
expenses.
should
Oh, I can do
be off
that.
that percentage point because it changes it from 18 to 12.
Right, but that's that's why I wanted to explain it, it's just
Okay.
on the expenses,
Yeah.
right?
Because the true cost to the community is only 12% of our entire budget, because we're getting offsetting revenue, but it's only because the police department's there.
Correct.
43, 1.
So those numbers are a little misleading.
Yes, it's,
well, except that then the same thing happens with public works.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because
same
this
thing
is,
happens. So basically what
Water.
it is, it's expense budget, you're right, it should
It's
say the expenditure
expenditures,
budget.
yeah,
Yeah.
because 21% of the expenses are in the
So
water.
it's expenditure budget as
Yeah.
opposed to the total budget, that's right, so
Yeah.
that would be more accurate to say.
well, in the past, we always applied them out at 20% of the budget,
Right.
and it's actually around 12,
Right,
which,
and I also think that somewhere along the line, we need to have a discussion on if Brighton works well. If they should have their revenue go into a reserve account for themselves as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that if they're making 16, they're bringing, like if they're bringing in an extra 30K. Instead of just dumping it into the regular general funds,
I
it should
agree
be
100%.
have a reserve fund set
Yeah.
up so that if they need special equipment, then they can just
Training.
pull it from the reserve fund.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we want to set that up tonight as well,
I
or,
don't think tonight, because then we have to look at all departments, not just police.
but just to keep in the back of our
Yeah,
minds, that,
yeah.
that might be.
The police is the one that's specific to a program that they're bringing in.
So when I back out the 160, it brings it down to 12%. Sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see my.
Yeah.
But you've
Well, I was doing some number crunching there while we were talking
Yeah.
on capital, and I was like, okay. It's the public perception of the cost of our policing
right.
as
Can
our
you
total
guys-
budget.
Can you
And
guys see my screen?
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think what they're interested too is the cost. So if we clarify instead of the expenditure budget, that would be good, and then you can explain the offsets.
Right.
But they don't,
Yeah,
they usually see that one number of 20. And
but it's
that's,
the same, but it's the same with every other department, every other department will be the same, you know.
well, there's direct money coming in for the police department that offsets their cost directly, like this $100,000 grant is directly pays off their cost.
Oh, yeah,
And the 60,000, which we were talking, which Sandy brought up, which is now in general. A good portion of that should be earmarked for the department so that we're offsetting their
but
costs
then
again.
we should be consistent across all the departments.
Right,
Because then you've got these special purpose grants, like 75,000 came in last year for marketing, another 60,000 for this year, another 10,000. You know, that blows out on the marketing side. No, when you look at every department, they're all kind of different. You got special purpose grants, and on the capital side, we just got $250,000.
that's right, yes.
Sewage lagoons.
Yeah.
Like, it can go on and
So that could
on.
Yeah,
offset
but
the
but these are,
public works budget.
this is not grants on that side, we're actually,
Well, it's a boost from the street grant, which is in jeopardy, right?
right, but if we lose it, we lose officers for it, right?
Oh, yes,
We
we
only
do.
have it because we have an officer, and the generation of funds by our, the check program,
But, yeah, no,
like, they're generating the funds out of the department.
Yeah.
The only comparable one to me would be the rec department, like, if they generate
no, I
funds, it should be
see
earmarked
doing
that.
it- I could see doing it less the boots from the street and doing it further, that, yes, the revenue they're generating.
Mhm.
However, if the costs keep going up, it's like any, I think we really have to look at it because if costs just escalate. You know, like, we need to look at every department the same way, but I don't disagree with what you're saying. If recreation come up with a brilliant plan that can offset all the departmental costs, of course, we're listening. So I agree with the concept. I think we just need to go department by department.
Yeah.
But it would be a great rule to encourage.
Creativity.
Yeah, zero-based budgeting.
Anyway,
Okay, so,
so you had I had the wrong budget up, so the operating budget I think is up now, is it?
Yes.
okay,
Yeah, so you can see the 12% there, sorry.
Okay.
oh,
That's all.
Public Works has now taken over the lion's share of the budget.
yes. And sorry, I had the one that you'd given me, so I had that number.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Except that you're showing 17 now and I'm showing 18. Okay.
Yeah, well,
So
I
can't keep up,
well,
can't
I
keep
took
up
the
with all the
160.
new budgets. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Melanie.
welcome.
Okay, so we have motions. So we need the final amount from your spreadsheets for the operating budget before the motion can go ahead, Melanie.
I do believe we have the motion with the number in.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
correct, but it's correct?
Yeah, it's
Okay, good
We
enough.
didn't make any
You don't-
changes.
You don't need the 45 cents, good, and no change on the operating, so who wants to begin?
I'm motion, I guess. The council approved the 2,614,489,000 town operating budget for the 2023-24 year, with tax rates remaining unchanged at $1.70 for residential and $3.20 for commercial respectively.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. And motion on 1B.
Okay, I move that council approve the 2023-2024 general capital budget of $391,154.
And I'll second that.
And that was with the changes indicated
Mhm.
on the capital budget.
Right, yes.
All in favor with that change?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Great. Thank you, folks.
so Amy, would you like to have a specific motion just on the sea level reserve
I
fund?
think that's a good idea to have it recorded. Yeah. Sea level. So. So we have to word it. With respect to the capital budget,
Yes, and, allocating it, just allocation.
the
not a-
allocation of 50% of gas tax. Amounts less any current obligations.
Mhm.
So the 50% of that plus 50% of gas tax funds going on a going forward basis for future years.
And we're gonna call it sea level rise?
Sea level rise, I guess that's as good a title as any.
Yes.
Sea level rise, to deal with sea level rise, capital project, dealing with sea level rise.
Yeah.
So do we have enough there for a motion?
Yeah.
Getting there, we'll take the time, you can read it back to us, Krista. Yeah.
And that way too, by having this motion, it is great for grant application.
It is, shows the commitment.
Yeah.
Does.
So,
Okay, so to allocate, when you use the word allocate, 50%
Yes,
of current gas tax dollars minus any outstanding invoices. And 50% of the gas tax dollars going forward.
Of the incoming gas tax,
Yes, thank you.
annual incoming gas tax.
and we probably should not use the word gas tax because
Oh.
that's not what it's called anymore. It's
Yeah.
called the
Hang on.
community bill. Community
I
bill.
know, changes every year.
It's
almost.
called Community Building Fund.
Community building
Right.
funds. And if you want to put the gas tax in brackets, that's fine.
Yeah.
For the older
Updating
generation.
myself.
Yeah,
Yes,
sea level, no, not seawall, we're gonna
Sea
call it.
level.
Level rise.
Sea
Sea
level
level
rise.
rise.
sea level rise project.
Because we not built a wall, right?
And instead of gas tax monies, it would be gas tax reserves.
Reserves, yeah.
And if you want to read that back to us, Krista, that's fine, it's important, we get everything.
Yes.
So, let's take our time.
Okay, so it was right. To allocate 50% of current community building funds. Minus any outstanding invoices. And 50% of future incoming community building fund dollars. Funds, sorry, towards the sea level rise project. That makes, I got it all.
I think we've got it all. Does that sound okay to you, Melanie?
It did. I might, instead of say invoices, outstanding invoices, I liked your wording better, Amory, that you said obligations.
Okay, sure, I messed up.
And do we need to have the year of the 2023,
Let's start with 2023 reserves, yeah,
just because that's the budget you're presenting?
Yeah. that's a better. Let's get it all in there.
Just to be clear.
Oh, yeah, because we'll wonder, right?
We will.
We do.
Well,
And we have to explain this all to Holly when she gets back.
I know.
Okay,
Okay, so is it 2023 or 2022, 2023?
2023, 2024 reserves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, to allocate 50% of the 23-24 community building fund reserves. Minus any outstanding obligations and 50% of the incoming community building funds towards sea level rise projects.
Project,
Yes.
yeah, okay, great. Do we have a mover for that?
I'll move.
Okay.
Everything.
Well said.
Everything she said, everything you just
Are you
said.
ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay, we've just committed ourselves. Ooh, big step, great. Thank you. Yeah,
Congratulations, Melanie.
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you, Melanie.
Thank
you. Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
It has been. I'm going to stick around for the new business number 1.
Thank you, we appreciate it. So appointments for the by-election. So we have, so the council appoint Melanie Robinson as returning officer for the, we should state, right? For the by-election to be held on
June the 10th.
June 10th.
Well, actually, if we put the date in there and we
Yeah,
don't
remove
need,
it.
right, we don't need the date, just to appoint her as the returning officer.
For the by-election, for the 2023 by-election,
Yes.
okay, 2023 by-election,
Just in case we have to change the date,
good point.
and we don't have to have a new motion.
And then for the assistant returning officer, it would be for the 2023 by-election, right? 2023 by-election, okay, so do we have a mover?
Do you have the assistant returning officer's name?
Yes, Dominique.
Underneath,
Yep, it's written in,
do you want, we're rereading these?
yeah,
Okay, then I will do the first one, that
Okay.
council appoint Melanie Robinson as the returning officer for the 2023 by-election.
And I'll move the council approved.
No,
you
second.
need to,
Second, Sorry, I
All
was
in favor?
one step ahead of you.
That's
Jackie.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next motion,
I move that council approved Donna Neath as the
approve or appoint, sorry.
Fine.
appoint.
Okay,
Did I say that? Okay,
It's okay.
appoint Donna Neath as the assistant returning officer
for
for
the,
the 2023 by-election.
I will second that.
break the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Thank you.
And while we're on this by-election topic, I'll just let you know that on our website, as of tomorrow, there will be an elections page, so people can go on and find the forms and information with all the special dates and stuff like that. So probably give us, till maybe tomorrow afternoon, but it will be all live and ready to go tomorrow.
I am your returning officer, but IntelliVote recommended we just swear, have a swearing in ceremony. So in the morning, I will get someone to swear me in, probably Sandy. And once that's done, we'll be in full blown election mode. So the ad's going in the paper Thursday. It'll be up on our website tomorrow and probably Facebook. And we've got brochures all ready to go at the front counter. So hopefully we have some candidates.
Do you want us to show up for your swearing in tomorrow?
No, please no.
Will it be cake?
And then we'll get Donna sworn in on Friday so she can help me out.
So this will be Donna's first, right? This will be her first.
Yeah, this will be her first. She's excited.
Oh, that's
Well,
great.
that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yay, fantastic.
And I did put a plug in for the by-election in the town crier newsletter.
Oh, good,
Small
good.
Message.
All right.
And
Oh, yes.
you did a good
And
idea.
the ad that you will see will be in the town crier as well.
Good, good. So we have to get it.
And the Bridgetown Reader, we're trying to get lots of coverage.
And it's a great opportunity for somebody because it's a
It's
term of
1 year.
a year.
That's how I started.
Yeah,
I just
That's
did the
right.
1 year, the by-election.
so that's.
Get my
a
feet
good
wet.
opportunity.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations on getting your
Thank
budget
you.
through.
You can take the rest of the year off now.
I wish.
Somebody has to count for all the money, Paul, if you want to do that.
I know.
How fast can you get a CPA and a CMA and all the other stuff? Okay. All right, so we're on to recommendations and committees, boards and commissions. And who wishes to start?
Who are we pointing?
Because I can't.
Well, we don't know who we're appointing yet.
That's what you did.
Yeah, so you'll have to kind of have a little discussion. Now Holly did
Mhm.
put her name forward that she would sit on the traffic advisory, so.
Oh, sorry, I was going by my agenda. So I believe for Valley Waste Resource Management, sorry, okay, where am I? Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm on to the Valley Waste
No,
budget.
no,
No.
we're at committees of council
Oh,
replacement.
sorry.
The business number two.
Sorry,
Number
sorry,
two.
I'm in the wrong place, okay.
So we
back
do
to
have like
the-
on your draft motions,
Right.
number
You
4
do,
are
yeah.
the ones that we need to do.
So we need to
And-
discuss who's going where.
Yeah, and Holly did now, and these can be interim until the election and then we can,
Right.
have some of it, I think,
Mhm.
until July, because that will be like July and then August, and so I think we have to have someone sit on these committees.
Okay.
So this can just be the interim until we get, and then we can redo it when we have a new counselor.
Yeah.
And Holly did mention that she could sit on traffic flow.
Okay.
Michael is already on the audit, so
Okay.
Yes,
that means it has to be either Paula or
follow it. From there.
the mayor, yep.
Okay.
And then
All I said she do two of them, didn't you?
Well, she said
her
whichever,
email,
you know. She's just throwing a name in there and so.
the audit committee doesn't meet very often, so that's a nice easy one, just to see if there's any takers on that one.
We'll probably meet when we get a new, yeah.
Yeah.
One more in the spring here, I imagine.
Right, when we get our
Audit
final
standards.
audit done and audit.
I'll go on as default if there's nobody who's decides they want to do it.
Okay, well, I don't mind going on the library committee.
Okay.
I can jump on that one.
I'm on traffic.
Oh, so Holly can go on traffic then, can she?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that works. So,
all right.
And we also reached out to the regional library board.
yes,
And that one, it was, you can appoint the person for 1 to 3 years. It's up to council the length of the term, so I don't know if the regional library, if you want to wait until a new person
Mhm.
is on for that one, or appoint somebody for that one now.
well, the library is important because we have an issue with money. So, we do. And.
So were you, just for clarification, you were stepping up for Friends of the
Yeah.
Library, not the regional
No,
library, right?
The Friends.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
that's on
yeah,
the one on here.
yeah.
So we do need someone for the regional library board, and it's fine if we could appoint somebody in the meantime until we have a full council. But are there any meetings in the offing?
That one I'm not really sure of. I don't know. I don't think we asked that question today, because we were just trying to.
Well, maybe we'll find out and put that one
Well, next month.
to committee of the whole.
Great.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So that means we have them all. So we could just do one big motion.
Yes, and then the last motion there, since Michael's the deputy mayor, that's the IMS.
That's right,
Which
and
he has
that's
already
obligatory, it
attended.
has
Yeah,
to be the mayor or the deputy mayor.
exactly. So
So that's good, okay, so maybe we can have a motion for all 4 appointments. So
I can make a motion. The council appoint Mayor Amy Boyer to the audit committee, term ending December 2023. The council appoint Holly to the traffic flow advisory, term ending December 2023.
Mhm.
The council then can appoint Councillor Paula Heffing as councillor representative on the Friends of the Library Committee. And that councillor appoint Deputy Mayor Tompkins as the alternate council representative on the intermunicipal service agreement board.
Should there be a date on the Friends of the Library Committee as well? December 2023.
we weren't sure on that one because
Yeah.
we didn't get a response back. So
Right, okay,
yeah, we can throw the date in there, or we can just leave it and then change it
Yeah.
as necessary.
okay, leave it like that.
Okay.
all right.
Second.
So do we
Yeah,
have a
I'll second that.
Okay, ready for the question?
Mhm.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Great, that was easy, thank you. And now we go on to recommendations from committee boards. There are too many committees, council recommendations that anybody couldn't see the forest of the trees. Okay, so now we deal with valley resource management, which we dealt with before, the budget's there before you. So do we have a mover for that?
I move that council approve the town's contribution of 1.31% of the Valley Waste Resource Management 2023-2024 partner share budget of $6,621,586.25, totaling $86,527 for the 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Second.
Okay, ready for the question?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried, thank you.
That council approve the CAO's membership in the Canadian Association of Municipal Administrators for 1 year, at a cost of $155.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I move that council adopt the updated policy on meetings, procedures and presentations number 2023-07.
Do we have a seconder?
Second.
Okay, some discussion required.
Okay.
Okay, so I was looking at this again. And I see staff made all the changes requested in the definitions. There was just a point I wanted to bring up, doesn't mean a change anywhere. But the one definition that was in the training manual that Sandy received identifies chair or chairperson as the person that facilitates the orderly discussion, decision-making at the meeting. Now, traditionally, the chair speaks only after all others have spoken, and in formal settings, hands over the position of the chair to the vice chair before making personal remarks. All discussions in meeting are done through the chair, not directly with members. So we're changing kind of our procedure from council to committee of the whole. So, but we've never done this formal thing where when the mayor speaks, we do the other. So I just want to bring this up. That's the way that was the definition there. So I just wanted to bring it up. I don't think it changes anything else.
Do you feel we need that? I don't,
No, I don't think so, and we're free to set our own, but I just wanted to bring it up because that was one definition where we stayed with the old definition chair, which I'm fine with, which is what we had in here. Just wanted to point it out. The
Mhm.
staff did merge them. I'm okay with that, but I just wanted to flag it.
Okay,
Okay, so based on that, are we ready for the question?
yes,
sure.
All in favor?
I,
Aye, motion carried. So that's another thing done and off the desk for staff. Okay, great. And that was a big piece of work at the end. Moving along to the donations policy.
The council adopted proposed policy for the acceptance of donations, number 2023-07.
I'll second that.
Okay, ready for the question?
Right, so this is just really to establish, because we don't have one of
We
these
don't have
policies in place, and it's just to establish the
Right.
framework.
Yeah.
To protect the giver and the receiver.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
perfect.
So ready for the question?
Yes,
Okay, all in favor?
I,
Motion carried. And now you have the outdoor fire bylaw, and I understand there's a public meeting, not a public meeting, sorry, an information meeting scheduled for us, is that right? Okay. So, does anybody wish to move?
I move that council give first reading to the outdoor fire bylaw dated April 2023.
I'll second that.
Okay, are you ready for the question?
Do we need to discuss it first, or? are we-
Well, we have an information meeting that's set, right?
Yeah, when is that gonna be?
When is that? That's a very good question. In early May, right?
3rd or May 4th?
May.
Okay,
May 3rd, I think it's on the sign up front, right? The door,
oh, that's right, because I'm gonna understand.
isn't that the public hearing?
Yeah, May 3rd at 1 p.m.
May 3rd at 1 p.m.
And first reading is just to put it on the table, it's not to
Exactly.
do any formalization or anything.
I did a careful comparison of the existing bylaw and then the proposed new one, and there isn't a huge amount of change.
No, I mean, all bylaws, they always have, but then you never know what will prompt other, right? As soon as you open a bylaw, they never know what comments might come up, so.
Right, I just wanted to ask, I know, because I'm not going to be here for the information session, it's in section 2, it's the addition of a fireplace. Is that an open fireplace or a closed?
Under interpretation section?
Yeah,
2?
of acceptable fire pit / fireplace.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you didn't have the answer now, that's fine, I was just curious when I was reading through.
Above ground outdoor.
Above ground outdoor.
Mhm.
Okay, but it still has to have the spark.
That's what's
protector.
the new that is the new part of it. So before, you were allowed to have the outdoor fire pits and fireplaces. Now you are responsible to have the spark.
Right, but in the existing bylaw, it doesn't actually say outdoor fireplace, it just says acceptable outdoor fire pit.
So what's, we're an outdoor pizza oven pit. Wood burning pizza oven,
Good question.
Wood burning
yes,
pizza.
which are the,
Well, you've got
Big
this
thing right now.
other, so in addition to the new proposed bylaw, it actually says other wood burning appliance.
Mhm.
but
So
you
that's
do-
an addition, that's a new one.
yeah, but they don't come with. They have it, it's open, it's like an open oven.
Right, you don't have the spark arrestor on the front.
I don't know what they have over the top of them.
I'll take that back and we'll look into that.
Okay. I just know that there's more and more of them coming
Yep, there are.
easily to buy. So
Well, there's also the addition of the propane fire pit / table.
Yeah.
That's a new addition as well.
yeah,
But when the existing bylaw was passed in 2009, and since then, there's new gadgets that you can get now.
Yeah,
Things have improved.
Yeah.
names weren't there when it was passed, you're right?
well, the propane tables and
Yeah.
Mhm.
stuff like that are all.
It's like fire
Pizza ovens
pizza.
are relatively,
Mhm.
it's,
So there,
we're commonplace, let's put it that way.
Anyway, these are good questions to anticipate.
And there was 2 other changes when you're done, Paula.
No, I was just gonna say on the outdoor fires permitted in 4C, that whole section that covers safety has been extended. There's more safety parts to that now, which is good to see. Okay.
And we also received an email stating that there was a couple changes, so the age of minority is 19. We have in here 18, so that will be changed in the next one. And under section 4C3, we have at least instead of at least, so
Oh,
just a
right.
typo there.
Yeah.
So those are 2 that the public had sent in, so
That's
those
good.
will be
That's
fixed in the next, yeah.
Wow, impressive. Somebody picked up on that little tiny typo.
Well, and then the 18 to 19.
Yeah,
So,
maybe that person wants to come forward as a councillor.
So did we approve that, pass the motion?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So now, ready for the question?
Okay,
All in favor?
I,
aye,
Aye, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that's done. And next is to set the public hearing and second reading for the outdoor fire bylaw. Do we have a motion? We do have a motion.
that council set the date for the public hearing and second reading for the outdoor fire bylaw as May the 17th, 2023.
second that.
Ready for the question?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Great. We move on to heritage approval. And the first is for 499 St. George Street.
Right, I move the council grant the applicant at 499 St. George Street heritage approval to construct a portico as detailed in the application 23-04-HER, providing the requirements of the land use bylaw are met.
Second that.
Okay, we went over this in PHAC, and I think this has been recommended to committee of the whole.
Yeah.
So we're aware of this. Yeah.
So ready for the question?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, 280 St. George Street.
That council grant the application at 280 St. George Street heritage approval to install signage as detailed in the application 23-05-ATR, providing the requirements of the land use bylaw are met.
I'll second that. And this is for Exit Realty are coming to town, and they're setting up.
And they're putting it up in the transom window.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Are you ready for the question? All in favor?
Aye.
On motion 3, I believe it should read in order to be compliant as opposed to be compliant with provincial planning regulations. So just with that change, does somebody wish to make a motion?
I move that council initiate the process to amend the municipal planning strategy as defined in the Municipal Government Act in order to be compliant with provincial minimum planning regulations.
I'll second that.
And I believe the information that's in the package available to the public so that you see what it was, right? Ready for the question?
Well, I was just gonna point out that this is required that we do this, and there is a cost associated with it.
big cost,
Mm,
yes, and this is just so that we put in our MPS that we will consult with our neighboring counties and municipalities when we do an MPS change.
mm.
Unfortunately, it's gonna cost us a lot of money to add that little bit of
Mm,
information.
mhm. Unavoidable, but there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Good to work with your neighbors.
Oh, yes.
Question?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay. So I did send out a mayor's report, but it wasn't in time for the package, sorry. The main thing for council is, you need to let us know right away if you're going to any of the twin events, just because we're down to, we're down to final cost. It's getting more and more complicated because requests are coming in to attend certain events,
Mm,
we have quite a few sponsors, a lot more sponsors than we thought we'd have to deal with. It's a good problem to have. So the main events would be on the 17th of June. There's wine and cheese at the Habitation, the official dinner that evening at Garrison Inn. And of course, on the 18th, we have an event that's open to the public for the unveiling of the panel, but it would be nice to recognize members of council present, so that's what I'd like to know.
Mhm.
Another thing is there's the official breakfast. So if there's any of those things you wish to go for, the important thing would be to let Christine know. Christine.
And the breakfast is on the 19th?
The breakfast is happening, no, that's an opening breakfast, so that is happening, I believe it's a Friday morning, which would be the 16th. That's when they get here.
I will reach out.
So if you can let us know, great, that's the main thing.
Okay.
The rest I'll let you read in my report, I think it's all, so. Okay, so we'll go on to, we have the CIO's report.
Yeah, so my report was in your package. Lots of work was been done on budgeting, continuing to work on grants and finalizing grants. The active living coordinator has entered the town in an event for Nova Scotia Walk Day on May 10th. So we'll have an event starting here at Town Hall, I think at noon. More details will come on that one. And the Canada Helps campaigns have started for the twinning event and the playground. And funds are starting to roll in, so that's great to see.
So both, as
Yes,
of
both.
this afternoon, yeah, that's great.
And I don't know if you had any questions on my written report?
No.
No, it's a very complete report.
No.
Lots getting done. Okay. So we're on to, you've got the planning services report, which continues to be strong. The water report, which continues to be absent, which is wonderful. So then marketing and economic development.
So, there was none this month for marketing and economic development. It was in the week of meetings that were canceled. We did have the public meeting, at the hub. And there were 7 presenters and there was a lovely crowd, that was in attendance. And it was actually very, very nicely run, nicely attended, and a lot of information was shared, and I thought it was a great re-intro to being involved with the business community. So that was, that's sums up basically the report on marketing and economic development.
Oh, and the budget came in, draft budget came in.
Yes. That was
Proposal.
proposal came back in for that.
Yeah.
And I will say the chair did a lovely job on that. And then, yeah, so that wraps up that one. Board of Police is the same. We did not have a meeting.
So back to,
Postponed.
so back to the twinning committee, the latest sponsor of the twinning committee is now Acadian Sea Plants, which is a wonderful thing.
That's great.
And they applied for, gave 3 different options, all 3 options were absorbed. Company was happy to sponsor them all, so. So now the whole issue, it's a very complicated thing with invitations, as Chris would know. Krista handled all the official invitations to 3 official events in both languages. Dealt directly with the president of our twinning committee, got them all out, the French ones, and as she's getting them out, answers are coming in. And so the lieutenant governor and his wife responded, yes, they're coming, so, no. So she is more on top of it than I am. Is there anything else to add on that, Krista?
No, you got it all.
So more sponsors, and heaven knows what else they'll pull in, but the budget is getting larger, but there is more demand on the events, so they are dealing with that. I think it's kind of outstripped their expectations. And the consul general is now funding at least 20 of the guests for the wine and cheese with invitation. That's the French consul general out of Halifax and Moncton. So that's government, that's Euro money from Europe. So, so it's wonderful to have them involved. Okay, great. That's the report on them. Library report, I guess we don't have one today.
No.
So traffic flow.
That was canceled.
Ah, but you attended the next one.
I did attend this one.
Yeah.
Lovely. This course has the transit side of it, and I'll talk about that briefly. It was, they talked about their numbers. The numbers are up significantly in March over February
For transit.
for transit, and they basically are closing in on pre-COVID numbers, which they were pretty darn excited about. They're still in the process of the financial switchover. They're still, the suffers still coming. They didn't really report on a lot of that. It's still coming, but they seem to have, they're switching over to month-to-month budgeting instead of the annual stuff, so they can do more cash flow and seem like, they got a lot in hand, so that was good. And on the other side of it, the Valley Waste side of it, there was some staff changes that were mentioned. There was, they were very excited to tell about their sale of excess equipment, which they got, I guess, large sum of money for the time of it. They're going to throw more of it out, not to throw more into the auctions. And then they're also looking at some new revenue streams, which I thought were quite brilliant. They're opening up there's a new location though, that they had closed.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID, and it's gonna deal with wood. So they're gonna actually, you'll be able to go up and they're gonna store their wood that they bring in and then put it out on display where you can buy it. So you can buy 2x4s and sheets of plywood and stuff at heavily discounted pricing, and they think they're gonna make substantial money from it. So
Great.
I thought that was fantastic too. And other than that, everything else was there's no surprising in the budget side. The finance side was straightforward.
Yeah.
So that was amazing.
So our consultants are doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, this still seem to be getting into the weeds of it, but I like the stuff coming out where they're being creative.
Yeah.
On how to, generate some more funds and make use of some old equipment and get it out, get the best return they possibly get on it. I thought that was great.
Good. Well, thanks for attending that one. Appreciate it. And Environment Committee, Councillor Happy.
Well, I didn't originally have a report, but we did meet this morning. And so we have a new time now for our meeting. So it's the 4th Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And that seems to be working for everybody. So we talked about the Gulf of Maine Award. We're waiting to hear back. They've received the grant application. We're just waiting now. Our county councillor representative on our committee has resigned. So we did discuss, because that person doesn't have a vote. So that is coming down the line at the next committee of the whole meeting that we had talked at the Environment Committee to make a recommendation to allow that person who is appointed to have a vote and therefore would feel more valuable in contribution to the committee. So we talked about the rain and compost barrel updates. We're looking at acquiring barrels, maybe from a local supplier as part of a climate changes initiative. So people capture the rainwater for gardening purposes.
We can buy it in bulk and offer them
Yeah, we're looking for a supplier at the moment and then offer them at a discount possibly to our local residents to
Advantage.
use. Yeah, and we're also perhaps looking at a Climate Champion Award program. It hasn't quite been modelled up and designed yet, but we have a task team working towards looking into doing that, maybe for residents, business owners, institution, anything from small things that you do every day and don't really think about doing it, but it all contributes to the big scheme, to local church putting solar panels on its roof and everything in between. So just getting more involvement and incentive from our local community. That was it really. Did I miss anything, Sandy?
And we're looking for new members
Yes, of course.
because we've had, I think we're down 2 or 3, definitely 2. So we're, in the next town crier newsletter, we'll be, looking for members.
It's an exciting committee. We kind of cover a lot of ground and there's a lot going on. So, yeah, we're welcoming new people. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. The Academy Condo Board.
My report is in the package. But I can just go over it. Condo. Right, so the regular monthly meeting was held on the 19th of April, and then there was a general member meeting held the next day that was well attended. That was held at the Academy in the meeting room, and there was a financial update. And as we're aware, there is a 9% fee increase to the condo fees, and there was a 30% fee increase last year. But this increase is going to help offset the costs of the required maintenance, because there is quite a bit of maintenance that needs to be done to the building and repair work as well. Also, the insurance coverage has doubled, so it's been reassessed. And yes, so the actual coverage itself has doubled and the insurance premium has gone up as well. You know all about insurance, Mike.
I do know that. I mean, I'm not actually surprised on that, so.
Yeah, so there's a new property manager, his name is Christopher, and he is no longer living, they don't need condo 100 for him, because he has his own condo, so they're renting that out now and getting revenue from that rental. That's good. They have identified parking issues, particularly when there's an event happening at the hub. There seems to be confusion over where the visitors should be parking, and they have been parking in the resident spaces, which is causing some confusion. And I know that's been on evenings over the winter when there's been snow-covered ground, and it's difficult for people to see whether there's a V for visitor or a number for a resident unit. So they are looking at doing better signage, perhaps getting the lines painted. Yeah, and also there's a contract out to a local company to do painting for the exterior of the building, all the woodwork trim. And that's going to be spanned over 3 years, and they're budgeting for that. And also they've identified there is work needed to the portico and the concrete steps. So they're discussing that as well. And the current treasurer has stepped down from her position because she sold her condo, and they have nominated and elected a new treasurer, and it's Grace Butland. So she has, yeah, she'll be really good. So, and finally, the gardening committee is busy working on plans to beautify the exterior, the grounds, and it's going to look really pretty. So yeah, so they're looking for volunteers. So if anybody fancies getting involved and has a green thumb, or not a green thumb, they can get involved. So a lot going on at the condo. It's nice to be on the board, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
I enjoy
that. And there's no report for the accessibility committee, didn't meet. However, when I was Thunder Bay, the mayor of Thunder Bay has Braille printed business cards.
Oh, that's really good.
So I met him, very nice man, Ken Boshaw. And yeah, I thought that was something different. And I also met James Aldrich, who's the vice provost in International, Lakehead University International, but he's related to one of the spurs who's on our World War monuments. So I have to go looking for it, take a picture for it. Anyway, that was that. Just throwing that in there. Okay, so communities in blue, the question is,
Do you have a full report?
I do have a pool report. Yeah.
oh,
missed
I'm
one,
sorry,
sorry.
full report.
That's okay. Okay, so lots are going on at the pool. There was a meeting on April the 20th, and financial update given by the treasurer. 2022 charity taxes have been prepared and mailed. Hiring is well underway. 14 candidates applied and have been interviewed.
Wow.
So that's fabulous. A total of 22 grant applications have been submitted, and so far quite a few have been approved. So there's a lot of excitement around there, and I think there'll be some big announcements as well. Upcoming fundraisers this Thursday, trivia night at the Whiskey Tower, a fun evening with the Boningtons, Dr. Bonington being quizmaster. So come on down to the Whiskey Tower for April the 27th for the fundraiser. Possibly May long weekend grocery bagging as well. So that'll be good. And they're selling sports suite tickets. There'll be a new round beginning soon, and possibly a Mother's Day event coming up. And the annual pool cleaning. Now, if you want to get down and dirty in the sludge and you've never stood in the deep end of the pool, this is your opportunity. So Saturday, May the 6th, 9 o'clock, get your wellies on, or AKA rubber boots in Canada, and go on down to the pool because it is such a good time.
I don't know, Paula, sewage lagoon pool.
No, the pool is great because it doesn't smell. You're just in amongst dead foliage, leaves, brown water, and it's so much fun. So yes, everyone is welcome.
Lovely. Wow, that's a lot. 22 grant applications and all this activity. It's wonderful, wonderful. Okay. All right, now I think we're ready for correspondence. So we have been invited if we wish to participate in Communities in Bloom. So It's an open question. We do it or we don't do it. I remember one year the town got dragged into it by a very, very enthusiastic resident.
It is a great program.
It is.
I'm pretty sure that we don't have the staff time to commit with this project this year. Because I think the grant for the solar panels is going to take up a lot of time.
Good, very good point.
And
This is an annual.
the communities in bloom, yeah, it's every year, and I'm happy to say that I participated in communities in bloom in my role when I was with the town. And we won every level, so you start off at provincial, no, you start off at, I can't remember the first level, and then it goes to provincial, and then international, and I was fortunate enough to go to Calgary and receive the award when we won the international program. So we have all the plaques and stuff, and yes, it is a great program, and maybe next year would be a better year to start it again or something, but
Sorry, which year would be better?
Next year.
maybe next year, just, there's a lot going
There's a
on
lot
this
going on
year.
this year, okay. So this is an annual
Annual
opportunity.
Yeah, it was just that I received an invitation. I'm sure they go through and they see who's been in the past. So I just wanted to make you aware of it, this correspondence. So
Okay.
if that's your wish, we're good with that.
Mhm.
I think next year's probably the better year to do it. Not so much on our plate.
I'll wait and see what happens with NS Power. Should be interesting. Okay, great. And of course, our good news at tab 15, our incredibly good news.
Yes, huge news,
$250,000.
incredible.
Yes, so our climate change intern, Kayla, did a great job on our application, and we were successful. And received over $249,000 to put the solar panels in at the UV treatment plant, so.
What is it?
Yeah, she deserves all the credit. We did work with CARP on the application. And CARP is going to help us put together the tender process, because hopefully we can get it started as soon as possible. So we were working hopefully with CARP on this project and get it going in spring.
And maybe the energy cost offset will help with the rest of the grant.
Right, yeah.
We can only hope. So much attention is being given to the sewage treatment plant this year, the
Yes.
dredging. Everything we can do, really.
Maintenance of the bulbs.
Yeah, everything we can do, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's a
so
significant asset in the town, but when it goes wrong, it affects all of us.
that'll be the
So
priority.
we've got to make sure it's
Clearly a priority for this year. We're
Yeah.
participating in communities in bloom. We're concentrating on fixing the issues.
Infrastructure.
Yeah. Well, and it's dog one per municipal unit, isn't it? Yeah. Then we had a response to so this is for your information, response to the Cornwall School presentation.
Actually, this letter came in before our presentation.
Oh, it came in before.
Yes, so
Okay, so
I was
wasn't
just
in response.
concerned that there was no finances, I guess, or they keep saying that they're gonna open.
Good point. I should
And
have
then-
shared an email that I received too, so I will I have an email, so you'll have the two responses.
Yeah.
So I neglected to send you an email I received that day, the day of the presentation, so
Yeah.
email to members of council and Sandy.
And this was just, and it was directed to the county of Annapolis and just CC'd us, but
Right,
it
right.
is there for.
Just so you have all the
information.
information. Yeah, thank you. And then at tab 17, another letter of condolence. So I believe that completes our agenda for the everything except the internal session. So on behalf of council and staff, I'd like to thank anyone who is being following proceedings. How many people are following today, Krista? Do we have an idea?
No, I don't.
Anyway, thank you for being with us this evening, and we'll entertain the motion to go into camera.
I'll move.
Second.
And this will be under section 22(2) of the Municipal Government Act. We have the in-camera minutes of March 23, 2023 to approve, and one